whenever OBS decides to start working. Is essentially when this starts. Or whenever I can hear double of myself. Stream, which I'm pretty sure I can. I don't know. Doesn't matter. None of this matters. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Chonkwij Podcast. My name is DrNiggle. I'm joined tonight by OmegaConstruct and ZER0-CAM. Masami and Kosen are on vacay this week for birthday-related shenanigans. I don't know where the fuck they are. Bloom County or something. But we hope that they're having fun. And, keep sending us pictures of absolutely nothing in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It looks very relaxing.
It really does, I'll be honest. I'm a fan.
Yeah, so we hope they're having a good time. Nobody knows where Eliteness is. He's probably dead again. And, the past week has been marred with excitement. Since Omega and Zero and I all started playing Diablo 3 again, just for shits and giggles. Why the fuck did we do that? Were we all going to play a game on Saturday or something?
It was just, what game do we all have that we can all play? It was that simple.
I was trying to remember what day it is, or what day it was that we did that, and why.
I think it was Saturday.
May have been.
Saturday or Friday. Time is an illusion. But yeah, Diablo 3 has become a lot more fun since the developers decided to say, fuck it! We'll just, we're gonna start trying to break things because it's fun.
Well, I was actually thinking about that. I think what they're actually doing, because that was my idea as well, especially last season where you had your whatever they called it, your clone. And
when you popped a shrine, shadow clones came out.
Yeah, your shadow clones. And now this season with your fully equipped followers, what I think they're actually it is super broken, definitely. What I think they're doing is they're testing ideas for D4.
I think that would be phenomenal. Hey, if I could,
I think they're just testing changes on things like that.
Look, if I could get a follower fully decked out, if I could fully equip a follower with gear and have things emanate from my follower to me in D4, I'd be all about that.
Yeah, one thought that I had that kind of bums me out is that the emanation mechanic is tied to your followers and not the item. So, what I mean by that is I think in multiplayer, emanation items should still be in effect. So, a support character could bring gloves of worship and flavor of time, and it would benefit the group. Why the hell not?
If they were trying to break the game, yeah, I absolutely go for that. But you just brought up testing for D4. So, if that is actually what they're doing, I think that's as reasonable a theory as any out there. Yeah, hell yeah, it would make sense that they'd want that kind of mechanic in for solo play. But as soon as a group gets together, they want people to be diversifying their roles.
I don't know. It's weird. I guess specifically with the flavor of time and gloves of worship, that one is interesting. Maybe instead of having them quote unquote emanate, the mechanic should be something like the person who touches it determines the length of it.
Touchy.
So if the person who activates the shrine has the boost, everybody gets the boosted time. Spin to win barb is kind of insane.
I'm just thinking of this production right now. Just randomly going over. Now we're gonna check the ZER0-CAM. Zero, how you doing over there, buddy? He's muted. That's how he is. I can see your lips moving.
Yep. I muted so that you guys didn't hear the wondrous slurping of ramen.
Delicious top ramen.
I'm good.
All right, we're going to check back in on the ZER0-CAM later on. Back to Omega. Oh my god, the power! Oh, this is great.
No, spin to win barb is kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. When you're speed running me through Griffs, and literally you're having to wait for me at the at the entrance to the next level.
Yeah, it's a little silly.
This spin to win barb used to be my main farming build, just because it's silly fast, and also you can slap average. Omega's obviously got average spin on there because I can see you picking up gold from a mile away. But yeah, that used to be my go-to farming build, and then, well, okay, Witch Doc. There used to be only two builds that could do like really super speedy shit, and that was Spin to Win Barb and Tempest Monk. And then Tempest became non-viable for damage. It wasn't really great, and I think they've brought it back now with a new set, or they altered another set. And then Witch Doctor had the chicken build. And the chicken build is just insane.
Yeah, I played that last season. So this is 2 seasons in a row where I'm playing super silly fast builds.
But now, in recent years, Crusader came around with the Permapony build, which wasn't great for doing damage when I was doing it, but maybe they've changed it since then. And of course, they introduced a new set for Demon Hunter it's basically Demon Hunter spin to win, which is what I use. So Omega and I can move at approximately the same speed all the way across a grift, which we were doing last night. And
it was kind of ridiculous.
It's really fun because he kills whatever is directly in front of him, and I kill whatever is further than whatever 15 yards away.
It's absurd. The 2 spin to win builds put together, it makes for fast grifting.
Yeah. Oh boy. So Diablo, the new crap that they're trying in seasons and the new sort of like game breaking stuff that they're putting in is actually really fun. And surprisingly, this season I've only had one hard crash desktop. I feel like that was happening a lot more last season.
I had one, and I think it's because like my speed barb is silly. Like this is the only time I've ever had FPS troubles with Diablo 3. This is one of the most optimized, smooth FPS games that I've ever played. It's not doing it right now, but sometimes there have been moments where like I get a speed shrine and particularly dense with enemies, and these goals are flying out, just all the shit, and it was actually stuttering a little bit. And I'm honestly impressed. I'm saying this in a way that I am impressed. Like, that speed barb is that much chaos.
When I was power leveling you, actually, and Linus was there with us, we just like came across that Dobby rift on T6, and we were like, oh, what a shame, it's T6. But when one of us took out all those Dobbies simultaneously, the game straight up stopped for me for about 2 seconds, and then everything just snapped in.
Look at this. I've had 2 Dobby rifts in the last day.
I got 2 the other morning.
Like, shocking. And I've also gotten a Dobby Shrine. No good Dobbies out of them, but that's just a lot of fucking loot.
Oh.
I wonder if they've upped the drops on that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I think you used the term T16 spoiled yesterday. I think that is more likely what's happening in my mind is that I'm just used to like a lot of shit dropping. Or I'm used to T13. I haven't played T16 a hell of a lot since that new difficulty came out. But when I'm on it, it seems like legs drop a lot everywhere.
Yeah, no, they are definitely dropping. I've ended up with legs more often than not.
Oh yeah, I mean T16 does. That's where you go. You got to play it at T16 for drops. But what's
for the
amazing,
1,000,000% magic find, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's ridiculous though is, once you hit that point where the build is up and running, like mine is, like this is T16, and I'm speed running it. Like, hey, Dobby Rift.
Yep. Yeah, look at that. Look at all those little fuckers. And it did. It's also just a very
And I wiped all of them.
It's a very satisfying game to play and to watch, just because of all the pretty lights, and it doesn't take much to amuse me.
This build is ridiculous. Like, holy shit.
I think yesterday I spent about 90 seconds playing with a light
Oh,
switch.
hey, look! And then a gooey dobby.
Oh, gelatinous sire. Kaboom. There you go. Let's go back over to the ZER0-CAM. Zero, how you doing, buddy? All right, back to Omega.
Oh, this is great.
I fucking love the ZER0-CAM.
You didn't know you would love it until you found it. Now you found it and you love it.
God damn. All right.
What an absurd amount of loot this was.
This is kind of crazy.
And yeah, a hot knife through butter. T16. Doesn't even matter.
I am not even gonna lie though. This Army of the Dead build is just ridiculously nasty.
Dude, I can't wait till you get it up and running full speed.
So we're talking about this and spin to win and all the rest of this, but Zero for, I don't know if this is the first time you're playing Necro or if you've done it before, but yeah, how are you liking the insanely buffed Necro sets?
Jesus. All I'm gonna say is it's like walking. Of course, I'm only on T2 doing riffs, but yeah. So it definitely gets interesting quick. So, and when I'm sitting there and literally everything that dies is immediately brought back to life. Dead, back to life. Dead, back to life.
That used to be a part of Necromancer that I really loved. There was a sword and board build for Necromancer that raised skeleton army of the dead, and whatever you attacked, your dudes rushed.
Yeah, well,
rookie move, Omega. Rookie move.
That's the core of a couple builds for Necro. And what's interesting is the build that he's playing. I've played a few different Necro builds. I've never played the one that he's playing. My favorite one is the skeleton mage build, which is different, where you have an army of skeletal mages that are just blasting magical bolts at your enemies. Yeah. But it's based around that same skeleton army attacking enemies with swords mechanic. It uses both together. So yeah, the Necromancer has a ton of builds, and I'm excited to see what Zeros can do once he gets all the pieces together and he's up and running T16 viable. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah. It's fun as hell now.
Yeah, and you're not far. That's how this game goes. The meta is so strong. You need, like, once you get that last piece that finishes the meta, it's like, boom, you skip all the way to T16 and it's a walk in the park. And you're probably right on the cusp there. We'll get you there.
Yeah. All right, be right back, guys. The dog is barking, and I don't know I don't know what's going on out there, so I'll return in just a second.
Alrighty.
Oh, the dog.
Oh, and now it's just the two of us. Oh my god, I watched season 3 of Westworld.
Oh yeah, I actually never got to season 3. How is it?
Did you get to season 2 at all?
Yeah, I watched all of season 2. And that was Japanland, right?
Where they ended it, yeah. They definitely went through there when they figured out that was a thing, which was really neat. Season 3, I noticed a huge discrepancy between season 3 and season 1, and I thought that I was full of shit, because I usually am, and I went back and started watching season 1 again. It turns out it's one of these rare instances where I'm not wrong. Season 1 seems like it's very balanced in terms of exploring a couple sides of a philosophy or something like that. Basically, for anyone who hasn't watched Westworld, go out and watch season 1. It's great. So it's a philosophy of, what is real, what is consciousness, what is life, what is all the rest of that, and how are we fucking that up, basically. Season 3, they lost a lot of the conversation back and forth over what is good, what is bad, do those things exist, who are we as a society and why are we that way. It just became sort of to me, after I got done with it, it seemed like a giant just stab towards analytics in general. Large companies learning as much as they can about people to predict what people do. And how evil that is. And there was no real flip side to that. Nobody in the show, not even the villain, tried to make an argument as to why it was a good thing. But so it's lost something in my opinion. I'm not really as enthused about it as I used to be. But I'm still gonna finish watching season 1 because season 1 was fucking fantastic.
What are we not enthused about anymore?
I told Omega I watched season 3 of Westworld because we both
Wait, so
we both
was
enjoyed season 1.
Was season 2 the season that was in Japanland?
There were elements of it that took place in Japanland, but I believe the main focus of season 2 was Delos trying to figure out how to prevent a disaster and subsequently failing to prevent that disaster.
Yeah, but like they weren't in the. Wait, so is season 2 the one that ended with them showing, like, teasing Japan? I don't remember which one I've seen.
Season 1 probably ended with maybe a tease of Japanland. Season 2, there are actually a couple scenes that take place in it.
I mean, whatever I watched, there was whole fucking storylines. I don't know what you mean a couple scenes. Like, there was the entire storyline where Maeve went to Japanland.
Yes.
Like, that was season 2?
That had to have been season 2, yes.
Okay, then yes, I haven't seen season 3 yet, and I heard mixed things. So yeah, I don't know. So if you had to give it a yay or nay recommendation, what would you say?
That's a really tough call. I mean, in terms of logical story progression, what happens is it makes sense. So if you're really interested in, how the story is progressing in Westworld, then yeah, give it a watch because you want to know what's going on. But if you're watching it because you think it's going to be as good as season 1 or the beginning of season 2, and all the rest of that, then no, not really. It's not worth it. Go back, watch season 1 again. What I really, the thing that I probably like the least is the lack of a good bad philosophical conversation on very topical matters. Sci-fi is meant to introduce topical matters and talk about them in a safe environment, quote unquote, so that you can basically get away with it, and that's great, and I love that. But when the discussion becomes less of a discussion and more of a lecture, that's not really sci-fi anymore to me. And the second thing that I probably didn't enjoy about season 3 was that, to me, a story is interesting if you have a character who knows everything but can't really do anything, or adversely, if you have a character who can do anything but is really hesitant or maybe even unable to know what they're doing, have their actions, consequences, all the rest of that sort of thing. When you have a character who revels in the fact that they know everything and they rub it in your face about how smart they are and how simple you are, and they back it up and can actually do anything and then laugh about it afterwards and say, haha, I told you so, that's not an interesting character. That's a dick.
Oh, so you mean like Rick from Rick and Morty?
Yes, Rick is a huge asshole, but at least that's supposed to be funny. Like, at least that's a comedy, and they're making fun of that fact half the time. But yes, you're absolutely correct. Rick from Rick and Morty is a huge dick. But yeah, that's that. Season 3 of Westworld, I could take it or leave it. But season 1, goddamn, I'm watching season 1 again. Fuck, that's good.
I've watched through some interesting TV lately. I rewatched Chernobyl recently, and it's as good rewatching it as it was the first time. But when I just recently started, I'm about halfway through season 1, and I am fucking loving this show. The Americans.
Oh,
I couldn't get into that.
Oh my
good
god!
Show, good show.
I was hooked from like the pilot. I was so into it. I'm like, yep, I'm on board. This is awesome. Oh, that's bullshit.
Now, I am actually, if we're speaking about TV, I am actually super excited. On Wednesday's the 9th, yes. The next of the Marvel TV shows is coming out on Disney Plus, and it's Loki.
Oh, there's a shield right here.
And yeah, so I'm excited for Loki season 1.
Are you excited for the 2 or 3 Marvel movies that are coming out next year that are based on things I've never heard of before?
Like, such as what?
The Immortals.
Yes and no. Yes, because it's a new property and I'm excited to see what they do with it. No, because I know Disney's gonna fuck it up.
I was really interested. There was I forget what movie she just did, but Angelina Jolie just came out with a movie where I think she is a bodyguard. Don't quote me on this. I read the article, but I haven't heard of the movie and I haven't found it yet. Basically saying that it was a role it was a kiss-ass piece in the end of it. The guy was saying that I can't believe Angelina Jolie agreed to do this because she's not playing a strong female character and she's capable of so much more. So from a kiss-ass aspect of it, I thought the article was ridiculous, but from a role, I actually did think that it was interesting. Angelina Jolie is starting to pick up action roles again, and I saw her, she's going to be in Immortals. I assume that she's one of the main characters.
Oh yeah, she is one of the 7 main characters.
Okay, so I'm wondering if she did a pickup action movie just to, sell it to Disney that, look, I can totally do this.
Well, her character is not an action character, though. That's the thing. The character that she plays is more of the Freya Aphrodite type.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So the character itself, obscure titles are actually something that I love in the Marvel universe because everybody gets tired of Wolverine this and Spider-Man that, and it's okay, yeah, they're great, but they've been around for how long? And it's just there's only so much you can do before you start going, okay, The Simpsons did that first.
How dare you disparage anything that Hugh Jackman took part in? That big, muscly Australian man.
Though I am very much a fan of the fact that Ryan Reynolds pitched to Disney that Deadpool take over all of the cameos that Stan Lee was going to do. I am here for that in every way.
Wow.
Because I think it would be brilliant.
What an opportunistic bitch. But yeah, that might be actually pretty funny.
Ryan Reynolds is an opportunistic bitch, but he is the best kind of opportunistic bitch.
The silly, heartwarming Canadian kind?
Yes, the silly, heartwarming Canadian kind. He is one of the few Canadians I like.
I got a ram-a-lam-a-ding. There's a lot of Canadians that you like. Come on.
Bill Shatner.
Well, you're a fan of Letterkenny?
I mean, yeah, those guys, but
pretty sure
I count them all as one person.
You
for being 100% honest.
You went on for years about how much you loved Justin Bieber. He's Canadian.
No, that was Leetness. I do not like Justin Bieber.
Oh, right. Okay, you were Hayden Christensen.
Yes, also I was Hayden Christian.
And I was Michael J. Fox, I think.
Yeah, but how could you not love Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't me talking about how much I love Michael J. Fox. I'm pretty sure that was just me posting a bunch of really mean gifs about Parkinson's.
Yeah, it was, and a couple of them may have crossed the line if we were all sane individuals, but we're not.
Oh, goodness. Anyway.
There's also Jim Carrey. Keanu Reeves.
Jim Carrey is Canadian? Oh, Jim Carrey is Canadian. Yeah, right.
Jim Carrey, though, he's the worst kind of Canadian.
Mike Myers.
He's a fun guy. I mean, so what's wrong with Jim Carrey? He goes about his career and is a pretty excellent comedian, and then he settles down, gets into painting, marries an ex-porn star who is an anti-vaxxer, and yeah,
That.
there you go. Because whatever, pick an anti-vaxxer argument, no matter how retarded it is, and yeah, that's her argument. I believe that we have a choice as to what goes in our body. No, there's a reason that children don't die of mumps anymore. It's because they're vaccinated against. We have an MMR shot. That's why they don't die of it. These are fucking horrible diseases. All right.
So I only bring this up because, you know, I'm that guy. But I mean, she does have a choice about what goes in her body, and she chooses wrong every time the camera turns on.
Oh. Well, yeah. Okay.
Don't shame sex work.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not sex work. Her, just her.
I've enjoyed her work. It's fine if you want to put. Oh, we probably shouldn't talk about this on the podcast, but there's a fantastic new genre. Okay, did I talk about a genre earlier this? Yeah, I did. Okay, I told you guys about a porn genre earlier this weekend where it's just women. Or men, actually, I found some guys too, inserting phallic household objects into themselves. Just creative stuff. It has to be creative. But there is another one.
I mean, generically, that's just kind of referred to as insertions, but
right.
I mean,
but
is this just a comical version of it where they do it for the lulz?
Yes, it can't be like a sex toy or something that resembles a sex toy or something that was supposed to go in there at all. It's
No, I mean, insertions is usually things like soda cans or deodorant or shampoo bottles or
I never actually saw
bowling pins.
Pair of binoculars, like one stick of a binocular.
That'll be a good one.
Like I've never seen that before.
There's plenty of creativity out there. But you know,
God bless
I don't think that's really so much a fetish as much as it is sort of for the lulz.
It's like the Pornhub version of TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, there is a whole like comedic porn genre out there, like or not even genre, more just like a comedic aspect to a lot of porn out there.
But there is another one. I found a compilation video earlier this week of women. Just the most insanely large phallic objects, just like traffic cones.
Jesus,
like that's just, and it's not. This is not hot. This is not spanking material. It's just impressive. Like holy shit, the human body is amazing.
There's one extreme aspect of large insertion fetish, and that's distension fetish. That's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You ever had a prolapsed anus? Because that's how you end up with a prolapsed anus.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's.
Well, no, distension is where like you can see like the stomach moving from something. Yeah, it's.
I know. The first time that I saw that was Hot Kinky Joe, and it was the alien belly.
Yeah, for her, that's just another day of work.
Oh, yeah. I hesitate to say that she was the one who made it popular, but she's got a lot of very popular videos.
No, give her credit where it's due. She was a pioneer. I think you should not hesitate. I think she deserves that credit fully.
God damn it, you're right. Hot Kinky Joe, God bless you. Let's check back in the ZER0-CAM. Zero, buddy, how you doing? Sorry. I know.
That was perfectly timed, Dick.
I know.
Oh, that was amazing. Good job.
I'm slightly jealous of Zero because he's having ramen, and I enjoy ramen.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good ramen. it's really not.
I might have ramen for dinner today after the podcast. Now that we're talking about ramen,
and we're back over to the OmegaCam.
I'm killing stuff.
All I have to say is, and I've had this discussion a couple of times with people, and I believe I may have had this discussion with y'all a time or two, but the commercials for Top Ramen crack me the fuck up.
I don't know that I've ever seen one.
Because here recently they've been running them, and it's like, oh, Yes, you can get your ramen and you can put steak and eggs and shrimp on top of your ramen. If you're resorting to like willingly buying ramen to eat dinner, you may not have all of that other stuff around to be able to.
I was about to say, like, I'm a ramen snob, and like, there's a lot of really good instant ramen out there. Top Ramen is not one of them. Top Ramen is like poverty ramen. Nothing wrong with that. I've eaten a lot of it in my lifetime. Grew up on it. It's delicious. But like, there are some high quality ramens out there. I shop at a Korean market, or like, there's a Korean grocery chain in and around the city, and they've got some awesome ramens. I currently have 2 packets of ramen. One of them is what I believe to be the best ramen that I've ever had. And when I say something like that, I don't say it lightly. Like, I'm kind of a food snob. This is legitimately the best instant ramen I've ever had, and it is Chinese ramen. Of all things, it is beef and sour cabbage flavored, and it comes with the noodle packet, the powdered broth seasoning packet, like typical ramen. Then it comes with an oil packet that has this like spicy, orange, fermented smelling, sour, delicious oil mixture. And then there's a foil packet filled with actual pickled cabbage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, in this ramen packet from the grocery store is actual pickled cabbage. And it's just amazing. And then this other type that I have is a dry ramen. So like, you rinse or you cook the noodles, then you drain them, and then you mix it in with the sauces. And it's an Indonesian ramen. And it came with like crispy fried onions and like seaweed. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So there are some good instant ramens out there, but
absolutely. And I'm not saying that there aren't, but
Top Ramen is not one of them. You're not putting delicious shit on Top Ramen.
No,
if you get good ramens, it could be worth it.
Well, I suppose. All right, so Top Ramen is the stuff that we used to buy in like the cardboard boxes. It used to buy like 20 packs at a time or some shit back in college.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. They're like 25 cents a pack.
Like, I could picture for nostalgia, I could picture going back to that and buying one of those, and then actually taking what I know now and my income now, and maybe putting some nice stuff on top of that. I could see them trying to get that marketing angle going.
Well, see what you do with that, and see, my philosophy on food is there's delicious foods at all income levels, and for cheap ramen, you match the additions to what you're making, and the answer is a sliced hot dog.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You put hot dog in cheap ramen. And this I was actually talking with my girlfriend about recently. There's a podcast she listens to, and they were discussing hot dogs. And they were having a debate over whether a hot dog includes the bun or if it's just the meat part. And my philosophy is that hot dogs are vastly underappreciated and underutilized as a meat ingredient in food. And I use hot dogs all the time as meat in food, especially for like breakfast stuff and stuff like that. But like ramen, hot dogs and ramen is so fucking good.
I'd just like to take a moment to lament that Linus isn't here, because we could talk about how much he likes hot dogs and uses them all the time, just not necessarily as food.
He uses them as direct imitations of the New York Mets.
Family Guy references.
That was a stretch for that one. I'm sorry.
No, that was a decent one.
No, that was pretty good. I was trying to remember what she did. Did she die of toxic shock from that?
No, it was Peter went. I don't know why, but we keep going through like a pack of hot dogs every 3 days. And then they cut to Meg up in her bedroom, and she goes, I'm going to pretend you're the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Of course, no human being.
Yeah,
it was the Knicks. It was the Knicks. I was going to say, nobody would ever pick the Mets for anything, and there's reasons for that. Sorry. Sorry if you're a Mets fan.
No, I'm not, so I'm with you. Other people though.
Sorry if you enjoy the sports ball. Sorry.
Novelty
I'm a
flying
huge-
disc. Throw
I'm-
ball.
I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan, so
Throw and touch.
throwing time.
Yeah, if you just call sports what they actually are, it gets a lot funnier.
Severe concussions and mildly racist? What? The NFL? I'm sorry.
Mildly?
That just came. That just came out this week, and that shocked the ever loving hell out of me.
What was it?
Their CTE protocols. It was called baselining. They were racial baselining when it came to cognitive function of the players, and they were like the baselining that they were using was leading to players not getting funding after or with CTE type injuries, which I mean shit actually pisses me off because I mean it is very very possible that I have CTE. 17 concussions doesn't quite lend well to me not having some type of ailment after wrestling for 7 years. So, but yeah, no, when I heard that, it just pissed me right the fuck off.
Yeah, but you know that the science behind this is very strong. It was developed in the 1940s. No one has yet to disprove it.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
That's immediately where I go now when we go to, I was having a conversation about euthanasia not euthanasia, forced sterilization of mental patients in Maine. Our country, Maine, and this was not long ago. This was the 1970s.
I was gonna say this sounds recent.
This program ended in the 1970s, but mental institutions in Maine used to be perfectly allowed to forcibly sterilize or chemically castrate anyone who is deemed mentally unsound, just for the purposes of protecting the gene pool, quote unquote. So yeah, whenever we start talking about whenever there's something that even remotely resembles Nazi Germany nowadays, I just immediately go to the German accent and be like, well,
Well, it's one of those things, and my wife goes, I don't understand how you can watch American Horror Story. I said, what's truly sad is the season of Asylum that they did isn't far off on how mental asylums and sanitariums were in that day.
No, absolutely.
It's disturbing.
The misconception often when you're talking about mental health in this country is that it used to be barbaric back in the 1800s or the early 1900s. No, it was barbaric until, about the early 1990s. It's still not good. There are horror stories, real-life horror stories that come out of mental asylums all the time. It's just because we had a problem in this country because physical health and mental health are completely separated. In our society, we do not equate one with the other, but in actuality, they're pretty much of the exact same importance. If you're bad, or if you're doing badly in one, then eventually it's going to lead to you doing badly in the other. It's a fucking cascade. But yeah, that's.
Well, I mean,
how the fuck did we get onto this?
How do we get on most of the topics?
We were talking about hot dogs.
I mean, valid point, but
anyway, yeah. What's your favorite hot dog?
Believe it or not, I like cheap hot dogs. Like, usually it'll be like Bar S brand hot dog, whatever the big cheap bulk packs at the store are. Sometimes if I'm grilling hot dogs, I like good hot dogs. I actually prefer things with like a natural casing. I like a nice snappy skinned hot dog. Fuck, hard to play well talking. But for like buying general purpose use hot dogs, I just get like the cheap bulk hot dogs.
That's fine. In that neighborhood, I prefer cheap tequila. I think you remember this. Bought Patron once, and I was just like, this shit tastes like gasoline.
When the stuff that you drink literally like comes in a gas can.
Yeah, the stuff that I drink is probably just barely fit for human consumption, but it's great. It tastes
Oh
great.
God, you're the guy who goes into the store, picks up the bottle of like 30-cent tequila,
Yes,
and is
absolutely.
perfectly okay with it.
When I go into the liquor store, the vodka comes off the top shelf and the tequila comes from the bottom shelf.
Okay.
See,
No fucking question.
when I buy good tequila and no vodka at all.
Yeah, all right.
I don't
I'm a
I
rum
just
guy.
don't like. Ugh. I do not
Rum is-
like
Do you drink rum
vodka.
straight?
Yeah, I do.
I never. It's flavorful, and there are a lot of rums that I like, but I don't think I've ever been able to drink it straight. It's just
Now,
Yeah,
I
who
used-
does like the idea of a shot of rum or like even a snifter or like a sipping rum? That
A
just
sippy
seems
cup?
odd to me.
a sippy cup of rum.
Yeah, right. I think now if I'm drinking it straight, it's got to be like Cannonball or something like that. It's got to be. It can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna go pick up a bottle of Captain Morgan's and that's it. No, Captain Morgan's Cannonball is refined just enough that it's okay. Let's see here. And I really hate to say this because it's gonna just show how Southern I am, but I think my favorite alcohol would have to be Knob Creek.
Because it's got the
And
word
that's-
knob in it.
Well, there's that. But Knob Creek is probably one of the best bourbons that I've ever had. And it is a good sipping bourbon. But like rum is just like, okay, I need something that's relatively inexpensive and will get me drunk.
I'm a fan of pretty much all varieties of whiskey, but my favorite is Irish whiskeys. Absolutely. The
there's a
best
population.
Irish whiskey I've had was it was a bottle of the 14 I got it as a present. It was a bottle like the 14-year reserve of Redbreast. I think it was like somewhere in that age range. It was like, yeah, their top production tier, whatever. But it was fucking delicious. Yeah, Redbreast Irish whiskey is fucking great. I prefer it to Jameson, definitely.
I mean, actually, it occurs to me that we haven't talked about anything on the topic list, which is pretty cool. But there's one thing that I want to get around to at least because it's fucking hilarious. Now that I've read it, excuse me while I die.
Please don't.
Oh, it's fine. I'll be fine. CD Projekt created a comedy bug reel before Cyberpunk 2077's release, and Omega put this one on the list. So, the reason that we know about this at all is because CD Projekt Red was hit with a ransomware attack that according to this article, supposedly saw the entire Cyberpunk 2077 source code leak online. As part of those leaks, several internal comedy bug reels have apparently surfaced online. So the whole shtick behind this is that CD Projekt Red knew that this game was not this was not ready at all, and it had a lot of problems with it, and they made bug reels to try and show other people in the company. Obviously, that strategy didn't work.
Yeah, like the developers made this bug reel, and this is where the company was saying like, oh, they had no idea it was this bad, blah 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 blah. It's just even more evidence for all the people who are pointing to just gross incompetence and mismanagement on the publishing side of CD Projekt Red, where it was blatantly clear that the developers of the game
were aware and
were
trying to do something about it.
Yeah, they were completely aware of how flawed so many of the game systems were. So it just reinforces the lie that CD Projekt Red has tried to claim that they had no idea it was so bad.
And the entire video is available on YouTube. Somebody mashed them all into a compilation. So you can watch this yourselves, and it's pretty funny. There's a lot of good stuff in here.
Well, and it just like Omega said, it just goes to show that they knew what they were doing when they put this game out. And
Yeah.
you know, when you put out a subpar product like that, eventually sunlight is going to disinfect everything.
Yeah, the truth will out. Jesus Christ, that was terrifying. Car just flew up into the area. That was a common problem. So was the fucking speed buff where you were jumping in one direction and flew straight backwards. Oh man.
So yeah,
Cyberpunk 2077 is on sale, by the way.
Yep. Oh hey, I just got a fucking chicken. Why did I get a chicken?
Barbarian chicken.
Hey, Doug, are you looking at my stream right now? I got this.
No, but I will.
I got this last night after you and I, or what was it? Last night or the night before? No, it was last night after you and I stopped playing.
Why are you even showing this to me? Why are you showing this to me? Why the
What am I
fuck would
supposed
you
to do
show
with
that to
this?
me? You're supposed to fucking, I don't know, roll a Demon Hunter. You've got a Primal Ancient Shadow piece. It's not a great set anymore. I mean, it used to be the OP set. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad.
I also got a Primal Ancient Sunkeeper.
You know, that bitch Kadala. Alright, what she did the other day, my build, or one of my builds for Spin to Win uses an offhand called the 9th Series Satchel, and it's required for the build, but you always put it in the cube because you want to have two hand weapons so that you can get that critical damage, and also the roll on the Series Satchel isn't always great, so you put it in the cube to max it out because it's fairly important. So what does that bitch do? She gives me a Primal Ancient 9th Series Satchel. It's useless. Like, it's not completely useless. It's just useless because I'm not gonna wear that on my character and put something else in the cube. I want fucking critical hit damage. But yeah, that was just these things always happen wrong. Primal Ancients are always wrong.
Yeah, I've never gotten one that was you know, the right stats. It's always a shame.
Back to the bug reel. Oh, actually, wait, before we go to the bug reel, we gotta check in on the ZER0-CAM. ZER0-CAM, how it doing? Zero is still on the cam. Alright, now we are going back.
Yeah, I'm trying not to die in this 35 rift. Because I literally walked in and just shit started beating me into the ground.
Don't worry, buddy. We're gonna help you out after the podcast. We're gonna get you going during the post show, and then we can talk about the hell did I have lined up for the post show?
Insertion porn?
No, we sort of covered that here. I don't know. We already did that. Besides, there's not a lot of topical discussion on insertion porn because it's Pornhub. I mean, they're not known for being talkative. The community, I mean, the actors and actresses, absolutely. Alright, so that was Cyberpunk 2077. This is a good bug reel. It's 11 minutes long though, so we're not gonna play the whole thing. Let's see. AMD now has 30% of the gaming CPU market, according to the Steam survey. That's good. I'm just gonna quickly recap that and say that's good.
Yeah, I'm not interested in really talking deeper about the article than just what the headline shows. But yeah, at least among the gaming community, you know, Intel's still in the lead, obviously, but you know, Nvidia is turning into real competition. It's no longer like the club of weirdos that it used to be.
AMD and Intel had some serious competition back in the early aughts, and then we've covered this on past podcasts, but they kind of dropped out of the limelight, and they've been gone for a while, and now they are coming back and actually competing with Intel again, which is very encouraging because usually they put out a product which is on par or better than Intel's, and it's almost always cheaper. So yeah, good for them. But something that is interesting because we have speculated about this on the past. A leaked NVIDIA cryptocurrency card could be more powerful, or could be powerful enough to save gaming GPUs from the mines. So they're talking about the 170HX card that could potentially be almost a dedicated cryptocurrency card.
Yeah, and it's something that I mentioned that with Bitcoin used to be done on graphics cards. Now it's done on special computers called ASICs that are purpose designed for running the Bitcoin blockchain algorithm.
The interesting
Now
thing,
that Ethereum is getting as popular as it is, there might be a market for machines dedicated to that, and it looks like NVIDIA is taking steps in that direction.
so the interesting thing about this is that it does 4,480 CUDA cores is a shit ton, and the card, surprisingly, the card is only running at 250 watts. But the thing that makes this apparently the best for cryptocurrency mining is the 8 gigs of onboard memory. It's not DDR5 or DDR6. It's actually a specific HBM memory, which is high bandwidth memory, which isn't usually used. From my understanding, it's not usually used on commercial graphics cards. I thought that was more for cards that were geared towards AI learning. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But the article does go on to say that yeah, Ethereum is extremely memory hog-ish, and the faster you can load and unload, utilize your onboard memory, basically, the more efficiently you can perform calculations and mine. So that is what makes this so big and bad. There is no price tag attached to this that I can see. Oh, the A100. They're comparing this to another car, the A100, that runs roughly $10,000.
Good lord.
Yeah, they figure if you're using this for cryptocurrency mining, then you're willing to shell out a couple $1,000s. So that wouldn't surprise me if it was a $10,000 card or somewhere.
No, I thought when I looked at the article, it said that it marginally outperforms the 3090 in terms of hash rate. So it couldn't be that expensive.
Well, it's an unconventional memory type. Somewhere in the region of 10. Yeah. So it is. The comparison to the RTX 3090 is in the CUDA core and the memory that the card has. I thought that the 3090 had more than 8 gigs on board, but it's the memory type. It's this unconventional high bandwidth memory. I can't really talk. I haven't even been drinking. That is probably jacking that price up just because when you get into DDR5 now is like market standard. I'm pretty sure that motherboards have come out and they're using DDR5 now, or they're at least planned to this year. DDR6 has been the standard on graphics cards for a while, so those are extremely popular memory types that it's cheap to, comparatively cheap to push out 10,000 cards that are, based on those memory types for, not a lot of money to the consumer, as opposed to having to come up with an entire product line based around what I assume is architecture that's really not been commercially popular for a while, and this might make it a lot more popular. I'm not sure.
Well, that just makes me wonder though. Like it won't make a difference if it ends up being that much more expensive though, because the hash rate difference it showed me, if I remember, it was something in like the low hundred somethings for 3090, and then like what 160 something for this card, or it's not like this card is 3 times as fast at mining crypto as a graphics card that costs a third as much. So the value is just not there. It'd be better to if it's that expensive, and it might be just because like of what you're saying. But if that's the case, then it's not going to really impact. Like, who's going to spend that much money when you could get three 3090s at $3,000 each instead of paying 10 grand for one of these?
The table on here, I don't recognize any of these as being an RTX card, but they do have projected NVIDIA CPM graphics card lineups, and the 170HX that's being brought up here that's been rumored is actually double the Ethereum hash rate of the 90HX, which is the currently existing generation. So this is, in terms of that, this is a significant step forward. Somehow also using less power.
Yeah, it says the 170HX is going to be 164
megahertz per second.
Yeah, so, and then
mega hashes.
Yeah, mega hashes. And then the GeForce is somewhere in the region, or the GeForce RTX 3090 is somewhere in the region of 120 to 130. So if this go 164,
gotcha.
That's approximately a 30% increase, somewhere ballpark that range. So
it's pretty fucking good. Using less power with less memory.
Yeah, but I still think it would, the economics of scale there, like, you'd be better off getting, 2 3090s than one of these cards and have money left over.
The reason that this popped up on our radar, I think, is because we had discussed this earlier in the year when NVIDIA came out and said that their new RTX 3000 series was going to be, it would be impossible to mine on them because they were hardware locked, and there was no way that you could do it. And I think the next week after we had reported that, we reported that somebody had figured out how to bypass their hardware block, and they were mining cryptocurrency on the 3000 series
with a $3 part.
Yeah, with a tiny HDMI dongle that tricked the card into thinking that a monitor was plugged in. That was basically the way around it. So yeah, and at that time, I think it was Omega who had speculated that if they're not going to allow, if it worked, which it didn't, but if it worked, this might be an indication that NVIDIA was coming out with a new, more affordable, dedicated crypto mining card that would probably be better than a commercial card like an RTX card. And lo and behold, that appears to be exactly what happened. So,
well, it appears that like they're repurposing an existing card, and it's, looking over this article, it's almost like they're not coming out and saying like this is a crypto card. They're saying like, hey, this graphics card is better at crypto.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're kind of hedging a little bit, but this is definitely a step in the direction towards what happened with Bitcoin ASICs, and this might be, like you were saying, sort of a market test to see if perhaps there is a market for it. Then maybe it'll be worth actually jumping on and truly building towards.
I did actually found the one or the two sentences in this article. The high bandwidth memory that they're using is offering bandwidth up to 410 gigabytes per second. Compare that to GDDR6, which is on the 3000 series cards that manage 84 gigabytes per second. So 410 versus 84. That's a crazy bandwidth. Yeah. What I want to know is how good will this be for gaming? I gotta go flex on Twitch. and be like, yo,
Yep.
I got the new 170HX card. I'm gonna play Diablo 3 at 60 FPS.
In 1 million frames a second.
1 million. Yeah, alright. So there we go. The only other one was the lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that Capcom stole art from a photographer for Resident Evil and other games. Does this sound familiar? Have we covered something exactly like this in past
I
weeks?
think we have mentioned
this is
it.
like a recurring theme this year.
Yeah, that one was like some photographer who took pictures of a girl in a certain outfit, and then like a bigger company basically hired the same actress, the same makeup artist, got the same wardrobe, like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
But
the
then
Call of
this
Duty
one,
fiasco.
yeah, this one, Capcom just straight up apparently ripped off some photographer's library.
Yeah, doing... Oh, this is a mask. This is a Photoshop mask over their 4 on Resident Evil 4. Yeah, this is... there are diagrams here showing basically the picture that the photographer took versus the logo for Resident Evil. And saying, yeah, the mask on this, the texture is absolutely my photograph.
Well, what I think is crazy though is that it's not just that.
No,
It's
there's
also
more.
across multiple games and multiple pieces. Like I said, they didn't just like take a thing that like one of his pictures and use it. They apparently like somebody just lifted his library and was like, these are our assets now. That almost makes me wonder if there was some sort of publishing miscommunication. Like maybe there was a middleman company that like sold the rights to Capcom. Like maybe some online stock website stole that dude's library and then licensed it to Capcom. And I don't know, that'd be interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah, so they're showing 3 things in this article. The first one is the logo, and the second one and third one are just stock photographs that this guy took of architecture, of a stained glass window and a door. This is just a detail and styling on a building.
It's like
of it.
the wooden inlay pattern on a door.
Exactly the fucking same. It's exactly the same thing.
And that's what's so ridiculous to me. And it's almost like that's why I'm almost inclined to not assume malice here, because like why would a designer maliciously be like, I'm gonna steal this, when that is something so easy to like legitimately get or to even make yourself if they didn't have rights to something.
Yeah, for sure.
I almost feel like this is a case of like Capcom thought they had the rights to this thing and they didn't for some reason. Now let's figure out what that reason is. But you know, who knows? Maybe there was just one designer. It could also be that. It could be just like one bad apple at the company who is one of the graphics designers who's lazy and just fucking ripping shit off the internet, thinking nobody would find out.
I can't believe it. Okay, so I went to school for graphic design. And wound up somewhere else. But the whole point of your first year in graphic design is learning what's plagiarism and what isn't. Like, what can you use for your original art piece? What can you use and how can you use it before it becomes original, if it can at all? So that was drilled into us, like, pretty fucking substantially for the first year, and for the next 3 years, there was always it's so fucking easy to just do a reverse Google image search for anything, especially if you're a graphic designer. If you want to pluck out a single element from something, then I know exactly how to do that. I know exactly how to put it into Google and figure out if it's original or not, if it already exists. I'm more inclined to believe your first theory, where there was a miscommunication somewhere. Like this artist, the company may have honestly thought that this artist either had given them permission to use his stock assets, or they got these stock assets from another company who had a miscommunication with the artist and didn't give him credit or payment for the use of his work.
Well, one thing I will say, as somebody who's been a producer and has dealt with purchasing images from stock image companies, providers, it could also be a case of like there's this weird situation where there's multiple levels of subscriptions, of course, to these image services, where they have like their base level of generic stock images, and you can subscribe at the cheapest level. Then they have some premium stuff, and then they will also have stuff where they might be the distributor, but even if you have a highest level of subscription, these items will appear on the website, but you have to buy a separate license for them. So it could also be a case where the designer misunderstood, which license he had, or misunderstood the terms of the license that they had with whatever image host or whatever stock image company they use, and just made a mistake in downloading the wrong item and never actually officially purchased it, instead using it without taking the proper steps. Because those websites will let you download an image and not pay for it, and not actually buy the license, because you could download the image to try something with it, and if you don't like it, you don't actually need to buy the license to redistribute it. So it's like a weird kind of situation here where I am mostly inclined to not assume malice unless malice is proven.
So more specifically, actually reading this article into it. First of all, the artist's name, the photographer's name, is Judy Jurek, and she is the author of a collection of photographs called Surfaces, which she first published in 1996. The reason that you can get away with publishing a collection of photographs of just stuff, just buildings, is because the images that she took are mostly from places that she specifically gained special access to, or in some cases are places which no longer exist. And the article gives the example of a specific pane of broken glass from a 1990s from 1990s Italy, or mansions and architecture which are not open to the public, which has been previously stated don't exist anymore. So the way that this got caught was because of a ransomware attack, which leaked a lot of internal documents for Resident Evil 6, and one of the images that was used in the development phase had the same name as an image on this CD-ROM that you can buy. The CD-ROM is available for commercial use, but you need a license to use it, and Jurek is saying that they never contacted her to get the license, so there's where the miscommunication comes in. Did someone actually try to license this, or did they go through a middleman, and it got fucked up? Or was it just straight off malice? So this will be the next one that we pay attention to. Obviously, the COD piece that we've been covering is in the phase right now where the developer is saying that, we totally did all this stuff. I put it this way last time. Yeah, we totally did all this stuff, just not anything that would actually be illegal. We did everything that you said, just not the illegal bits. And
well, I mean,
that's
a very common legal strategy is, admit to everything that they're accusing you of, and then saying it's not, what you did isn't actually illegal.
Right.
It kind of defeats the thought is that it'll defeat the accusation that way. But we'll see what happens there.
It is the thing that sticks out here that might press forward is that this is a publication from 1996. That's over 20 years ago, and I'm not entirely certain what kind of copyright was put onto this. Traditionally, it doesn't matter, but in some cases it does.
Well, I do know that, like, things like Disney, every so often,
they renew.
They have to renew because things like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that can become public domain.
Well, with Disney, it's different. They don't renew copyright. Like,
oh no, they lobby to keep it in place.
Yeah, they get Congress to extend to change the law to make copyright last longer to protect Mickey. So yeah, that's a different thing altogether.
Good strategy.
I mean, hey, it works.
Yeah, it's working. It continues to work.
Works for them. Can't blame them.
Well, kind of can. So anyway, yeah, that's the most interesting stuff that that popped up here. This one I'll actually be interested to follow and see how this works out. Capcom is not noted for being dicks that I know of, but if they are, I'm sure it will come out. Back to the hamster dance.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, back to Discord, where we're gonna check in on the ZER0-CAM. Zero is still there, looking hot, still muted.
Well, so big thing that's coming up, and you know, it's something that I look forward to and that I hope to be able to attend at some point in my life is E3. And that's coming up starting, I believe it's this Saturday. Starts on the 12th, runs through the 15th.
There you go.
So
okay,
we should have some fairly interesting news coming out of that, I'm hoping.
Right, it is. It's the 10th to the 15th. And this is all digital this year, yes? Or is it physical again?
Believe it's all digital this year.
Yeah, I don't think places or like a lot of these events are ready to go back that quickly.
But the government told us we don't have to wear masks anymore.
Somebody forgot the pecan sandies. It's exactly what you sounded like, dude. You sounded like Roger.
Somebody forgot the pecan sandies.
Oh my god.
You know, that was a good character. I fucking hated Roger for the first 2 seasons, and then he grew on me and in me and up me. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake will not appear as Ubisoft Forward. Oh, that's so sad.
Is there anything interesting expected?
Not
at E3 this year?
Yeah, Zero, you talk about this.
Bethesda is actually, this is going to be Bethesda's first E3 since the Microsoft acquisition. So everybody is very interested, or people, I'm not going to say everybody because I think it's going to be some same old business, but people are interested to see exactly what Bethesda is going to show coming into their time at E3 this year. Because, like, the schedule is showing that they are on, let's see here, June 13th, which is Sunday, at 10 a.m. Pacific, so 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Eastern. And it's Bethesda and Microsoft. So
they're doing a joint presentation?
Yes.
Interesting. I see that. I think is actually kind of noteworthy that
it's Bring Your Kids to Work Day.
Yeah, like that Bethesda isn't doing their own thing, that they're actually doing it officially as a part of Microsoft. Because, it wouldn't be unusual for a subsidiary like that to have its own sort of thing. So I just find that noteworthy.
The other thing in here is there's a lot of news about Sonic Ultimate Spirits and Sonic Origins. Do people actually still play Sonic?
I do. I love Sonic games, dude. They were fun.
I mean, they were fun. I have nostalgia for
good.
Sonic, but whenever... Okay, so this grinds my gears. People have nostalgia for Sonic and say Sonic is such an awesome game. When I go back and I play it, it's a game about pressing forward. That's
And jumping.
Mm-hmm. Every now and again, well, it depends on which Sonic you're playing, but yes, occasionally there's a jump in there too. I don't know. I don't have any problems with Sonic. I enjoyed playing. I don't even remember what Sonic was on Dreamcast when I was a kid.
Fuck you, game. I just failed 90% upgrade chances in a row.
90s?
3 90s in a row. What are the actual odds of that?
3 in a row. Very small. It's like 1 in 120 something.
So, another thing that's kind of interesting about the schedules is what's missing. And I know that Sony a while back pulled out of E3, but I was expecting them to come back with the release of the PS5. I was expecting them to come back in.
No,
They aren't.
I think that they're using the PS5 as a jumping platform to try and save their sort of their what do I want to say here? Not their exclusivity with PS5, but that's certainly a part of it.
I finally got an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Holy shit.
Congratulations.
That's one of the
Oh my
ones we're
God.
looking for.
It rolled a max roll crit chance and max roll cooldown.
But it's what's weird is like Verizon's got their own section on June 14th. Verizon at E3. I mean, granted, they're going to be announcing and talking more about 5G. But then there's the PC gaming show. What? I mean, cool, I'll tune in, but
I think it's fun that Verizon has decided to go there because they're probably going to tout Fios, being like, if you need the best ping time, the best responses, then try fiber optic.
yeah.
It's like, okay, I mean, I have Fios. It's pretty good. Ping time is pretty good. I'm usually, when I play Warframe with Omega, I'm usually at like a sub 50 millisecond ping, which is pretty good for Warframe. For Diablo, I think I'm at like 10 millisecond ping. But whatever, good for Fios. Good for Verizon, whatever the fuck they're trying to do here that I don't care about. Razer, of course, is going to make an appearance. Why wouldn't Razer be at E3? As you said, we already got Bethesda. Sony's not appearing. Yeah, is there anyone else who's making an appearance? This is the thing about E3. I'll talk about this, and I'll get interested in it, and then it will come and go, and I'll be like, they didn't really talk about anything that I wanted to talk about, did they? So I'll watch YouTube for the compilations of weird awkwardness. I hope that E3 continues to be a bastion for cringe.
Yeah, no, BlizzCon takes that cake every year.
That's true. BlizzCon really is good at that.
BlizzCon's had some golden moments in the past, that's true. I miss Chris Metzen. I mean, I don't like him, but I miss him. Good times. Alright. I was gonna ask Zero something. God damn it. You started talking about something interesting, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, and now I've completely forgotten what I was gonna ask you. How's your dog?
She's good. Rotten has absolutely loved the fact that the wife and I were both home today.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. Jeez, it was fucking 95 today and entirely humid, and my dogs love going on a walk every day. But occasionally they'll be really super excited to go on that walk, and then we'll get there and it'll be so hot they'll get out of the car and be like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
Yep. I've seen that. I've done that too.
And then you get home and they're like, are we going to go for a walk? And we're like, we just went over this.
That's where you just let them outside in the yard and just be like, all right, have at it.
That's basically what happens every time that it rains and they're disappointed that they don't go on their walk. I let them out of the house, and within the first 5 seconds they're like, oh, it's raining. Fuck this.
Yeah.
But I have to do that like 5 times before noon. Just so they remember, it's a shitty day. That's why we're not going. Any other weather, we'd go. Well, okay, so I'm gonna get back to the hamster dance here. And I think we're gonna call it a podcast because I really want to play some fucking Diablo.
Sure.
I want
That's a good one.
to play this game that came out 9 years ago.
Hey, it's a great game.
It's still an entertaining game, and I'm still looking forward to Diablo 4. I hope that it is as gloriously fucked up as D3 when D3 launched with the auction house. Oh, you think they're gonna bring the auction house back?
Fucking dumb like that.
Do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they'll
No,
have like a new and improved auction house?
No, they can't be dumb enough to try something like that. They have to know that no matter what they do, it'll be figured out.
I mean, yeah, it'll be figured out. But the whole problem with auction house in the first place, why that was such a big deal, is because I think they had to negotiate with South Korea, because of international law and how transactions work, and how the real money auction house was going to fare overseas, in countries that had disparate laws than the U.S. and the EU regarding in-game transactions, or maybe it was something else. I don't know. But that was a big deal. They negotiated all this shit, and you could trade with people all over the world. And then, of course, China ruined it.
Is that how it went?
Yeah, there was an enormous farming effort, not exclusive to China. It's just China happened to have the largest farming communities.
Yeah, I mean, listen, China's gonna China. And you put that shit in a video game, it's gonna happen. So
Yep.
You need to either plan for it or accept it.
So what ended up happening was we had a real money auction house where you could buy gold, or you could trade gold with people in game. And what ended up happening was these farming groups, mostly Chinese farming groups, farmed all these legs. They got and that was also a thing of how Diablo 1.0 worked. There wasn't a hard cap of the number of legendary items of a type that could exist, but there was a soft cap, so it became progressively harder and harder and harder to find one, depending on how many existed on the auction house, or it could have been actually game-wide. So as soon as farming groups started farming all these legs, putting all of them up on auction house, selling them for an outrageous amount of money or gold, and then selling the gold to players, it became impossible for regular players, casual players, to find any legs that were useful in game. And that's
so the game became pay to win.
Essentially, yeah, farming group.
Except the money was going to Chinese farmers.
Exactly, the money was going to not Blizzard, and Blizzard did not take kindly to that, so the auction house was eventually removed. But yeah, that's why Leetness had an Echoing Fury that he sold for like $100 real dollars over Real Money Auction House. I had a Crit Mempo that I sold for some obnoxious amount of money. So that was no bueno. I really did not enjoy that. But yeah, maybe Diablo 4 will bring that back and it'll be new and improved. Jesus Christ.
I can't imagine they would be dumb enough to even try something like that again. But, like,
I hope not.
Who knows? Greed and...
They could go...
Okay.
On the other hand, they could go the PoE route, and they could have microtransactions.
Microtransactions, yeah. I literally almost just said microtransactions, and, like, the very thought of it makes me gag. That's part of why this game is so good.
Yeah, because
hey man, Warcraft has gotten lousy with them. It's insane.
It's a way to keep income flowing for your products. I mean, fucking look at every huge success game that's come out in the past 5 years, or still being played, that's older than 5 years old. Warframe, GTA, PoE, all these massive games with huge player bases, they all have cosmetic microtransactions or shark cards. You straight up fucking buy in-game cash. But yeah, anyway. We're going to go play some D3. It's going to be hilarious. We're hopefully going to get Zero up to, I don't know. We'll finish your whole season journey. We'll finish all the rest of those because it's been 2 days, Zero. You have no excuse.
Unacceptable.
No excuse not to be done.
Flog me in the after show, please.
Oh, yeah. All right. Checking back with the ZER0-CAM one last time. There you go, Zero. Good night, buddy. He's with the back scratcher. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's been a fun podcast. We're going to catch you same time next week. Everybody have fun.
Bye.
Bye. Penis, penis.